TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, 'cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right, we gon' get it right. We gon' get it right.
Protests and anthems, yes, we chanting. A movement of people, it's like we dancing to the ministry of. It's the energy of, in memory of them that we love. The trinity of the people, the peace, the power, the truth. We speak the powers even louder. We can say it blacker, we can say it prouder. A woman vice president that went to Howard. Now we talk helping black businesses, and our differences is magnificent. Bringing light to the point where the prisons is. I was told good life is where forgiveness lives. The ascension is to leave what's left behind and feed the seeds with deeds that bless the mind, caress the mind, and question justify. With you and God in time, I best align.
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, your host and White House correspondent. I'm in touch, and so tag your it. You be in touch. Follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q. It's DRNIIQ, and I pop right on up, fresh for you to follow. Also, be sure to download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or simply tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580. And there we are for your listening pleasure. Last but not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. That way you'll never, ever miss an episode. Now, listen, let me tell you about something else we don't want you to miss. And it's coming up quick. And so you got to follow instructions. Our KBLA Talk 1580 4th anniversary event is fast approaching, and seating at all 4 of our special events are getting real tight. Have you registered at our KBLA1580.com website? Well, if not, let me strongly encourage you to stop what you're doing right now so you don't get left out. It's our 4th anniversary, and real talk, we want to celebrate it with you. And so if you're planning to join us for our 4th anniversary celebration and barbecue on the Juneteenth holiday, we're asking everyone to bring a food gift card of any amount for the victims of the Altadena fire, whether it's a grocery gift card or a restaurant gift card. We're grateful for whatever you bring to help the families that are still displaced. They are still displaced by the wildfire. So go to our KBLA1580.com website right now and sign up for the events that you plan to attend. Remember, all of our anniversary events are free, but seating is limited. You got to register. So thanks in advance for everyone that registers and that is planning to be there. Now, it's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. That's right. It's time for your National News Roundup. Kicking us off, USA Today is reporting that the Supreme Court sides with straight woman in reverse discrimination case. That's right. The Supreme Court agreed today that a worker faced a higher hurdle to sue her employer as a straight woman than if she'd been gay. The rare unanimous decision, which landed amid a national backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, could trigger a whole wave of reverse discrimination lawsuits. The justices rejected a lower court's ruling that Marlene Ames could not sue the Ohio Department of Youth Services because she failed to provide background circumstances showing the department was that unusual employer who discriminates against the majority. Now, that's a test created in 1981 by a federal appeals court used by many, but not most, of the federal courts when assessing claims brought under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit said in 1981, this is before I was born, they said that while white people are covered by the Civil Rights Act, it defied common sense to suggest that the promotion of Black employees justifies an inference of prejudice against white co-workers in our present society. That's what they said in 1981, but the law itself, which bans discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, it doesn't set different thresholds for members of minority and majority groups. The Supreme Court said that the background circumstance rule, that's what they call it, the background circumstance rule, that it can't be squared with the text of the law or the court's previous rulings. And nothing Ohio has said in its brief or at oral arguments persuades us otherwise. That's what Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote for the court. And so this is, things are about to get a whole lot more interesting because I think what this does is it adds fuel to the narrative, to claims of reverse discrimination. I understand what the Supreme Court ruled on this. And again, a unanimous ruling from the Supreme Court is pretty rare. I'm not a lawyer, but you better believe we're going to have some really smart lawyers on in the near future to help us really unpack this. But my suspicion is that this ruling will open the floodgates for reverse discrimination cases where white people are claiming that they are being discriminated against by decisions in the workplace that benefit so-called minorities. So we'll be sure to continue to follow this story as it develops. But talking about flipping the script, have you all been following the breakup between President Trump and Elon Musk? Well, NBC News is reporting that Trump and Musk feud explodes online and it turns personal. The simmering tensions between President Trump and Elon Musk, they exploded into public brawl almost between the most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world, filled with personal attacks and financial threats. The spat began when the president criticized the Tesla CEO's recent attacks on the Republican policy measure winding its way through Congress, which Trump has dubbed the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. And it quickly escalated into social media volleys. Trump suggested in the U.S. He suggested that the U.S. government could cut its significant ties with Musk's businesses. Hit him in the pocketbook. And Musk shot back, promoting a post that called for Trump's impeachment and alleging a link between the president and the late sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. The comments and the flurry of online retorts from both men that quickly followed marked the latest development in a remarkable break between the two. Musk donated over $250 million in support of Trump's 2024 campaign. And after his November win, Trump invited the entrepreneur in the administration. Musk's actions at the Department of Government Efficiency, instituting mass layoffs, shutting government functions, and compiling data across the agencies, it's defined the early stages of Trump's second term, and the two showered each other with mutual. The relationship cooled as Trump's priorities shifted to major spending legislation, and Musk wound down his time at the White House. And so I have no doubt that this relationship is going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better, if it gets better. In other news, NPR is reporting exclusively that in recorded calls, reports of overcrowding and lack of food at ICE detention centers. It was accompanied by a screenshot of a photo of a man with swollen red eyes with another screenshot of his full detainee information saying, "Please help me, I'm desperate." The woman who sent it, Maria, was texting about her brother at the Chrome Detention Center in Miami. She requested that their last name be withheld for fear of retaliation against her brother, who has been held in detention for more than 2 months. She told the folks over at NPR that he had a fever, a serious eye infection for almost 2 weeks, and says that he was denied medication for both. Florida has pledged to be a national model for state cooperation with President Trump's immigration crackdown. As detention centers here and across the country fill up, sources have received an outpouring of messages about severe overcrowding and inhumane conditions in immigration facilities across the state. And, are you surprised by this? Oftentimes a lot of the conditions in our jails and our prisons are inhumane. I remember once upon a time when the California prison healthcare system was in federal receivership. And so not surprised about these conditions in such a facility. But it's important to note that more than a dozen detainees, their family members and lawyers, they describe similar issues as Maria, including detainees underfed and in ill health. Chrome, which is run by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, has been dogged for years by allegations of inhumane conditions and investigated by the Department of Justice in 2000 on accusations of sexual abuse. This year alone, there have been 2 deaths at the facility. Ukrainian immigrant Maxim Cherniak and Genry Ruiz Guellin of Honduras. When we come forward, we're switching gears. I'm looking forward to welcoming to the show Maria Foscanaris. She's founder and former executive director of the National Homelessness Law Center, formerly known as the National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty, a nonprofit based right here in D.C. that uses the power to end and prevent homelessness. She has a new book out called "And Housing for All: The Fight to End Homelessness in America." Looking forward to talking with her when we come forward. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say.
Let's do this. Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
With the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our Black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
We love you. Love you.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321321. That's EQUAL to 321321.
Hit me! National News: The Consequence. Informed opinion. And analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We hope to have Maria Foscar-Nisis join us shortly. She's the author of And Housing for All, The Fight to End Homelessness in America. A very important conversation, a critical conversation in the city and county of Los Angeles. We know how much money has been poured into the fight to address homelessness in city and county of Los Angeles, across the state, across the country. And so I'm eager to hear Maria's take on that area of work. But not long ago, the president just wrapped up a meeting that I think you all want to know about. I think we all want to know about. He met with the Fraternal Order of Police. He hosted a police roundtable at the White House today with the Fraternal Order of the Police. So, at the top of the show, we were talking about the spat between Trump and Elon Musk, and, certainly there will be implications of that. But that does not distract us from some of the issues that are of special interest to our audience. CBS News 4 is reporting that President Trump was set to participate in this roundtable discussion with the Fraternal Order of the Police at the White House. It happened this afternoon. The Fraternal Order of Police is the largest organization of law enforcement officers advocating for the well-being and safety of officers, as well as the communities that they serve. Now, just want to take you down memory lane for a second. In September 2024, this would be during the 2024 election, the Fraternal Order of the Police, they endorsed Donald Trump for president during his re-election campaign. Most recently, the Fraternal Order of Police, they endorsed the president's one big, beautiful bill. That's what they did. And the Fraternal Order of Police supports the tax cuts outlined in the bill, specifically endorsing the deductions for overtime pay for Americans earning less than $160,000 and the increased deductions for state and local taxes. And so, look, the Fraternal Order of the Police, they're looking out for the Fraternal Order of the Police. They're looking out for police pay. And they see that their guy, the guy that they endorsed for president, they see that he needs some help. This is my read on it, right? And so I just share with you what CBS reported. Now I'm going to share with you just sort of my read on this. He's their guy. and their guy needs a little bit of help because the so-called one big beautiful bill is hitting some resistance. The one big beautiful bill is losing altitude. The one big beautiful bill, as he calls it, needs some help. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see other groups who endorsed Trump come out in a big way in support of the one big beautiful bill. Now, look, it's in their self-interest to support it. Again, the tax cut line in the bill specifically endorsing the deductions for overtime pay for Americans earning less than $160,000. So, my suspicion is that most police officers earn less than $160,000. There are a lot of police officers who make a whole lot more money thanks to overtime pay. So, enjoying a tax cut for deductions for overtime pay, that's good for the pockets of police officers. But it may not be so good for everybody. You got to read the fine print here. If President Trump is calling in a favor from a group that endorsed him and says, you're our guy, my question is, what do they want in exchange? Don't forget that at the National Association of Black Journalists conference last year, when Trump attended, he said that he supported 100% immunity for police officers. Are they calling that in as well? You better believe we're watching and we're listening. You've been listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
The audience is listening. Thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A Black California track star lost her state title after celebrating with a fire extinguisher.
When the officials told me that I would be disqualified, I was just set into shock.
Clara Adams was disqualified for using it to, quote, put out, end quote, her spikes after winning the 400-meter race. The governing board for sports in California called it unsportsmanlike. The city of Kingston, New York is marking Juneteenth by hanging special flags along Broadway. The flags feature a white star over red and blue, symbolizing new opportunity for Black people. Officials note Ulster County's history as one of the nation's most brutal slave regions. And celebrity chef Marcus Samuelsson has opened Marcus DC, a new restaurant inside the Morrow Hotel. It blends modern American cuisine with Black culinary traditions from DC to Ethiopia. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
A car fire in Norco on the 15 southbound before 2nd Street. Highway Patrol says that everyone's off to the right shoulder, but by the looks of traffic, it's really jammed up here all the way from the 60 and very dense and slow passing the scene. You may have that right lane off limits. The drive opens up after that to the 91, more slowing ahead as you continue all the way to El Cerrito Road. It's tough as you make your way through Santa Monica, 10 eastbound, leaving 20th Street. On the brakes all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights and the drive on the 5 northbound. Backing up out of Burbank from Hollywood Way on the brakes and stretches to the 14.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tether? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Coco Gauff moved closer to winning her second Grand Slam tennis championship. In the semifinals Thursday morning at the French Open, the 21-year-old African-American star defeated Lois Boisson of France in 2 sets, 6-1 and 6-2. Gauff, the number 2 seed in the French Open, will play for the championship Saturday morning against the number 1 seed, Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus. When Gauff was 19, she beat Sabalenka in 2023 to win the U.S. Open. If you want to see Gauff battle for the title, you're going to have to get up early or set your DVR. It's a 6 a.m. start, LA time. TNT will have live coverage. The 2026 NBA All-Star Game, which will be played in Inglewood at the Intuit Dome, will have a format a lot of people have been asking for. Team America versus Team International. NBA players born in America against the NBA's foreign stars. More on this development tomorrow. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Pick up the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
The State of the People Power Tour is not a moment, it's a movement. 11 cities, one mission, to organize with care, build with strategy, and remind ourselves that we have never needed saving. This Friday and Saturday, the State of the People Power Tour arrives in LA for its final stop. Join us this Friday, June 6th in Los Angeles and on Saturday, June 7th in Pasadena. To register, go to stateoftheppl.com and join us as we build a new nation where every voice matters.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to building a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. And let me just say this. I don't know how many folks out there are paying attention to the impacts that this administration is having on the social safety net. But housing and healthcare are on the line in a real way. I mean, when you think about your monthly budget, think about how much of your income goes to think about how much goes to your housing and your healthcare. A lot of it goes to your housing and your healthcare. And those prices are getting ready to go up. They're getting ready to go up in a big way. I don't know how many people have seen what's in the Los Angeles Wave newspapers, but they're reporting that a South LA Health Clinic is fighting Governor Gavin Newsom's proposed $1.3 billion in Medi-Cal cuts. Community health clinics in Los Angeles and in the surrounding areas are having to join together to express their opposition to California Governor Gavin Newsom's proposed state budget cuts for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, cuts that could lead to significant staff reductions and possible closures of home facilities. And local health officials and legislators are concerned over the alarming impact these cuts will have. The legislature has a June 15th deadline to approve Newsom's next budget. And so what are we going to do? The federal government is intent on cutting the health care of some of our fellow Americans, some of our neighbors and friends that need it the most. Talking about cuts to Medicaid. And the governor of California is looking at cutting Medi-Cal. So for people who depend on those programs, they can expect an uptick in the proportion of their income devoted to healthcare. But that's not it. That's not where it ends. Also, housing. The Chicago Tribune is reporting that an Illinois rental assistance program is seeing funding cuts for their 2026 budget, and another blow to the state and city housing programs. That's what they're saying in Illinois, and a move that could impact almost 7,200 renters who've received assistance this fiscal year from that state program in Illinois. The state housing authority's goal was to assist 8,900 households through the new program, but will likely see closer to 8,000 households supported. And that's according to the Illinois Housing Development Authority, their executive director. The state agency administers the rental assistance program. And so, I don't know about you, but I'm concerned about housing and healthcare. When it comes to the cost of other things, particularly due to inflation, there's obviously, concern about that. But because housing and healthcare is such a substantial amount of people's monthly budget, I'm concerned, and I have a feeling that you are also concerned. Now, those are just some of the realities that we're all having to face. But I reject this idea of inevitability, that there's nothing we can do but just sort of sit down and accept what folks are willing to give us. I think that's when we roll up our sleeves. I think that's when it's time for us to activate. If you haven't, today's probably a good day to open up your cell phone and program your cell phone with the phone number to the governor's office. Program your cell phone with the numbers of some of your state legislators and your members of Congress and the White House switchboard. Those are very clear ways to register your disapproval, to register your displeasure, to sound off. Because after all, they say he who is silent, and if I could amend that, even she who is silent gives consent. Make your voice heard. at the end of the day, we're all going to be stuck having to pay for this. It's in our interest to make our voices heard. And, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when you're really going to need that health care. You never know when having that housing is going to make a big deal in terms of being able to take in family members who may be ill or maybe falling on tough times. You never know. And so when we come forward, and switch gears a little bit, talking about healthcare, how many folks out there are on their IVF journey? Certainly families come about in so many different ways, thanks to advances in technology. Well, that includes IVF. It's life-changing for infertile families. And by the way, fertility cuts both ways. Men and women have issues with fertility or can have issues with fertility. But the Christian right says that IVF is not in God's plan. What say you? I'm going to tell you all about it when we come forward. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other Black influencers in the climate and health fields, as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We face tragedy, but we don't fall into despair. We continue our work to build a more perfect union.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Well, look, everyone has their journey towards becoming the family. It's something I've been thinking a whole lot more about lately. And a lot of friends and even some family members who have done IVF. And I'm sure each one of them would attest to how life-changing IVF has been. I think they would also attest to how challenging IVF has been. For some, it has been an emotional roller coaster. And I'm sure part of what has made that, part of what makes it an emotional roller coaster is sometimes the views and opinions of people who may not be down with IVF. IVF may not be their chosen method to have a family, you know, and ain't nobody forcing IVF on anybody. You know, IVF, as I understand it, it's a technology. It is advanced medicine. It is available for folks who need it, clearly under a doctor's supervision. But in this age of instant culture wars, the Christian right is saying that it's not in God's plan. You see, The Guardian is reporting that as soon as they arrived home, Tyler, who's 7, and Jaden, who's 3, they rushed into this small green tent perched on a living room table, and they pressed their faces against these mesh windows. And inside, several gray cocoons hung there as the boys' eyes eagerly scanned for the slightest movement. And within seconds, the boys were off to play with their cars, having no patience for waiting. But Tyler and Jaden were like a lot of kids. They were suspended in a state of wonder. Few Americans contemplate the fate of excess embryos until the start of the IVF process themselves. And only then do they have to decide whether to freeze any remaining fertilized eggs for future use, as most patients do before discarding them or donate them to science. Some might even opt to donate them to other patients. So whatever they choose, the decision is usually a deeply personal one. But if the anti-abortion movement has its way, they may not have a choice at all. You see, in February 2024, the Alabama Supreme Court, they cited biblical passages to argue that embryos should be legally recognized, not as personal property, but as children with rights equal to those as children. I should say extra-uterine children with rights equal to those of children. The ruling upended the local IVF industry as clinicians handling embryos, they feared being sued under Alabama's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act. Several Republican leaders, including Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, they quickly vowed to preserve IVF access, and Alabama lawmakers passed emergency legislation to protect medical staff from lawsuits. And at the same time, prominent Christian right leaders and conservative groups, including the Heritage Foundation and Students for Life of America, celebrated the ruling. Some called to extend the legal rights of embryos, and they expressed their fervent desire to restrict IVF nationwide, arguing that the regular testing, the regular freezing and discarding of embryos makes IVF incompatible with Christian values regarding the sanctity of unborn children. Say what? Translation, when it comes to IVF, when it comes to embryos, they're saying those embryos are they should be treated like children, embryos. Why stop at the embryo? Should sperm be considered a kid? Should an egg by itself be considered a living thing? May not be a kid, but it's a living thing. It's life. Where does it end? And when do women have the right to decide what happens to their body? When does that happen? That part. When do mothers and fathers get to decide how they're going to plan their family? Why is the government all up in folks' business? All up in folks' business, all up in folks' uterus in this case. I mean, is this Handmaid's Tale in slow motion? I would remind you of a Georgia woman who is currently on life support. I read this story a while back. I think I shared it with you a few weeks ago, and it begs repeating. This 30-year-old Black woman in Georgia, she's been kept on life support for 3 months. 3 months against her family's wishes because of the state's fetal heartbeat anti-abortion law. Adriana Smith was declared legally dead in February after a medical emergency caused her brain function to cease. And Smith, who was a nurse, had been initially turned away when she first sought medical care. She was 9 weeks pregnant at the time, 9 weeks. But because her medical providers would face legal consequences, including jail time if they were to end the pregnancy, Smith's body is still being kept on a breathing machine, despite the fact that Smith herself can no longer be resuscitated. The case demonstrates once again that it's deadly to be pregnant. It's deadly to be Black and pregnant. That's what Monica Simpson of the reproductive justice organization Sister Song, that's what she has said. And so the fear of litigation from embryo to unborn child, in this case, a child that was 9 weeks, and nobody has any control but the lawmakers, mostly men. What's wrong with this picture? Is this okay with you? Today, it's the family of Adriana Smith. It's families with frozen embryos. But tomorrow could be you. So when we talk about reproductive justice, when we talk about reproductive rights, it's not just about the right to have an abortion. It's the right to decide what you want to do with your body. And folks are welcome to have their opinion. For people who believe that advances in medicine like IVF are not in God's plan, then don't get IVF. It's that simple. But because of your religious belief, your interpretation, maybe even your narrow interpretation of a religious belief, you want to force how folks govern themselves, how they govern their body, how they govern their embryos. This is a fight worth fighting. Our future selves will thank us for taking up this fight, I believe. It's worth noting. When we come forward in our next hour, we're going to switch gears and we're going to give you an update on the latest happenings related to the Diddy trial. Aside from that, we're going to be talking with Nathan Hale Williams. He's a writer and director of a film that is generating quite a bit of buzz at the American Black Film Festival. He is the writer and director. He's the director of Come Together, Art's Power for Change. We'll be talking with him in our next hour. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
I deserve it all. I deserve it all.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump has signed a proclamation banning travelers from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Haiti, Somalia, and Sudan, citing security concerns.
The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed.
The move came after Sunday's anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado. A judge is warning Sean Diddy Combs to stop making